For their 30th anniversary, Alienware has debuted a new industrial design language that will be the hallmark of their products for the years ahead. Alienware and Intel, the sponsors of today's videos, invited us to Alienware's machine shop and design studio to learn how everything from the color, the materials, and finishes of an Alienware system is considered and prototyped during the design process.
Hi, Tyler.
Hey, Adam. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. This is cool. Is this your domain?
This is it. This is my lab.
Okay. What kind of stuff do you produce out of here?
So we do a lot of working prototypes for various sections of the company, working chassis. So the R&D component levels.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I also modify other objects for guys and servers, cold plates.
Okay.
Anything to help our engineering staff.
You show me around. Show me some of the toys you get to play with.
So we have an EDM. Takes 10,000ths of an inch wire, so a couple times thickness of the human hair.
10,000.
Yeah, I even have 4,000ths wire. If I need to get real small, real small. Yeah, we can do cool stuff like zero tolerance work.
Oh,
that thing is really tight.
Ooh. Okay, I gotta say, like, I feel like the EDM is underexplored. I love what it can do. Yeah. With this tolerance, is this the 4,000ths curve, or is that cut separately and put in here?
That's 10,000ths. But yes, the info letters are cut separately.
Gotcha. I
didn't do a full layover. Yeah, no,
dude.
4,000ths that would fall right through even.
Yeah. Right. I would expect,
because you got your 4,000ths wire, then you got a percentage of overburn.
Right. Oh, so what is the percentage?
Very small, but it's there.
But it's there.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking microns.
But when you're at tolerances like this, all the microns matter.
Absolutely.
Dude, I can't imagine how much fun it would be to have access to one of these machines.
It's changing. It changes things.
Oh, good.
I mean, just as simple as, hey, I need to cut a tool down.
Right.
If I don't have a grinder that can cut a tool, piece of carbide, we go right through it.
Incredible. Like and you can include the draft angle and everything. That you need.
This even has an additional 4th axis on, so I can do rotations.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool. So you could literally cut out a part that you couldn't get out.
Yep.
Oh, nice.
Yep. This is one of our CNC mills.
All right.
Datron. It's essentially a router. So it's all vacuum table.
Okay. Oh, vacuum table.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
With a vacuum table, you barely need to worry about squareness almost. Dude.
Holds things very flat. Those covers that I made.
Yeah.
A lot of the operations, all the 2D operations are done in here.
Oh, yeah. That is super cool.
Yeah, these things.
Such a little machine.
Yeah, this is our little guy, and it's super quick, very accurate. This also has an additional 4th axis you can put on it.
And it's got a tool changer.
Yep.
Oh, and that's calibration.
Yeah, touch off every time.
A
little bit of wasted space here, but I don't like it buried in the back.
Oh, fair. Dude, that is super cool. I just love how small it is.
It's neat.
I really
want
awesome
one. Machine.
Phenomenal. Oh my God, look at how clean everything is.
That's where it's at. I'm a little OCD there.
Oh yeah.
Right?
I think that's a requirement for this job.
When I'm deep into a project, yes, I'll have some things out and whatnot, but I'll spend a whole day just putting away. That's also where like something like that comes in handy too.
And using rolling tool carts to keep everything localized.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, what is this? What's going on here?
This is automated vertical storage. So instead of having pallet racks and multiple carts everywhere, you just return
automated
everything.
Vertical storage. What? Yeah.
So we have one in here, and then we also have one in our engineering workspace.
And it goes all the way, it's the full stack, so it's like 40 shelves worth of stuff, 30?
24.
24? Holy cow. And
yeah, once this door opens up, you can kind of see in there, it's on like an oval belt. So it stacks in front and in back.
And it doesn't care how much this weighs?
It has a weight limit.
Okay.
Each drawer, a little over 1,600 pounds.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
You just broke
SAE hardware.
And it's safe. So you just broke the light curtain?
Oh, and so it won't like chop me in half or file me back there.
Right.
Oh man. I am so jealous of this setup.
We've got a lathe. We do a lot of test probes with that.
CNC lathe.
CNC.
I've never actually
with milling capabilities. So it does have live tools for drilling, milling, so on and so forth.
What are the scary operations on a CNC milling machine?
On a mill?
CNC lathe. I'm sorry.
CNC lathe?
Yeah.
Deep hole boring.
Yeah.
Anything deep with a blind, like a blind shoulder in the back. Oh, you never know if the chips are going to clear exactly right.
And drill bits can wander.
Drills can wander.
So you do like end mills with cleaning up and reaming kind of operations?
A lot of times.
Yeah.
If I have enough spaces, back in when I did a lot of production work.
Yeah.
If I had enough tool holders to do an end mill to clean up the bottom and then get in there with a final comfortable wear. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. True holes. Yeah.
Wait a minute. I need one of these. What's the weight limit on that?
I have no idea.
Will this lift my 60-pound chucks?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, amazing.
That's what it's meant for.
Yeah.
That, and it's actually meant for lifting that trunnion off.
Yeah, I was just saying to someone that I have 8 chucks for my 1540 tool room lathe. And it's going to be about 10, within the next 10 years, I won't be able to lift
250 pounds.
250 pounds.
Right on the side of the boom.
Absolutely plenty.
So like you were asking about the vacuum on that.
Yeah.
That Neo.
Wow.
So you can open and close all these ports.
Oh, wow. So just turning them so that they're not through, it closes that off. So you can localize the vacuum wherever you want it.
And this table, you can also turn off half of one of either side.
Oh, amazing.
And the Neo has front and back. So if you're not using it back, turn off your vacuum capabilities at back.
Oh my God, the signage you could make with this.
And these guys are equipped with deionizing systems. So if you're doing plastics and stuff, it won't stick to everything.
All right. So I'm also looking at the drawers and the labels. I'm curious, is there a drawer you love in this room? Or that you're proud of?
Not yet.
Okay.
So there is a drawer in there that I can't show you guys because of property. But it's where a lot of this stuff ends up.
Okay.
Right? That is the fun drawer.
Has tasty parts.
Has some of the cool past projects and stuff.
Oh, nice.
That may or may not have made it.
Oh, right. Because you might cut something that's a total prototype and no one out in the world is going to get to see it for a decade.
Absolutely.
Oh, I'm so sorry about that. Tyler, it has been such a thrill visiting your domain, man. This is really beautiful. Thank you.
Now that I had a sense of the in-house prototyping capabilities of their machine shop, I went to meet 2 of Alienware's lead designers to see how far they actually go in creating tangible samples of their design ideas in the creation of their new Alienware 30 industrial design.
Allison, Josh, the laptop is beautiful. And I think that a lot of people would imagine that a design team just comes up with a new design every year and presents it to corporate and there's a little negotiation and then you release a product. But we've been chatting off camera and it seems like it's a much more non-linear path. Can you
It's a bit more than that. It's definitely quite a process. When we do this level of change, it's not every year. This is really more, every 5, 6, or 7 years. We kind of get a sense for when it's time and we start very early. It's a long process.
So when it's time, you're building a brand new design language.
Yes.
Talk to me how you guys develop that, how you incorporate that and discuss that amongst yourselves.
Yeah, I mean, I would say it's not just us. It's a pretty robust team of different, specifications. We have lighting engineers, we have software people, we have packaging people, we have color material people, industrial designers, and then we're all coming together to converge and talk about what are the parts of the story that link us all together, what do we want to unify, where is gaming going, what's the future of Alienware, and then all of those people contribute to this larger goal. Yeah.
So does it begin with a sort of a level set, a philosophical approach with like a mission statement?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we spend a lot of time actually on the definition of what we're doing, right? It starts with a mission statement. It starts with a lot of kind of meetings with many groups, right? Getting aligned on that mission statement, getting aligned on that goal. This particular design language, as Allison mentioned, we really combined a lot more teams, more teams than normal, right? It was a multidisciplinary thing.
Is the ability to bring together more teams than normal part of
your guys' maturation as a design studio, being able to take in more and more different vendors, different ideas, literally different physics, right? Like all these different materials require all different manufacturing processes, and you got to bring them all together in one thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's pretty deep, but like, you know, from the internal perspective, right? We've been honing our process on how we do this for a very long time, and constantly trying to make it better, constantly striving for that impossible perfection, you know. And then from a supplier and a vendor and partnership standpoint, we're always, you know, cultivating those relationships, working with everyone around us, right? Whether it's our paint supplier, our model shops.
So you're always asking them for like new things. I'm just really curious. You were talking off screen about green cork. So talk to me about these chits and these pieces and what they represent.
Yeah. So this side, a lot of this is really early design inspiration where we're trying to get our footing around what the story is going to be, what the narrative is going to be. You know, depending on what the story is, we might want to use more natural materials. We might want something to look ancient. We might want some kind of texture or color that supports this larger narrative.
Ooh, denim, or it feels like denim.
Yeah, it's like a speckled weave. We were talking about like, what are we going to do for acoustics on larger projects? How does this go into accessories? And so we have this kind of high level bird's eye view of like how all these things might come together. As we move forward, we start to really iterate on what are the actual materials going to be, where are they going to go, which products are going to get what, how do we incorporate transparency, where, you know, what kinds of things are exposed, what's hidden. And so a lot of these early design chips are us starting to theorize about where that could land.
So this is sort of like the beginning pathway, and you're looking for things on the path that like start to work.
Yeah, and this section is part of one theme, and really early on in the process we started with 3 different themes that were wildly different directions. These are the most similar to sort of like where we landed and where we ended up with the design language, but we had, you know, whole kits for each type of story that we were
So there were
telling.
hundreds of these potentially.
Yes.
To give you
a small snapshot.
To give you an idea, right? When we go through this, there's obviously a lot of research, but then when we start creating, it's kind of a really wide funnel. Right. So we, you know, the way I describe it is, you know, we leave no rock unturned, right? We are exploring everything. And so what you see here, as Allison mentioned, is kind of once we've reached sort of the lower end of that funnel, and now we're starting to make this idea become a reality.
Okay, so then we move from here to here. Does the funnel get bigger when you move to things like this? You start trying, because I can see you've got mix and match.
Yeah, a lot of these, the intention is looking at, you know, how we can approach the color palette. So we're definitely looking at dark mystery. We're looking at a lot of like greens and teals and purples. We considered doing some rougher finishes. We thought about some more like silky liquid finishes. How would that affect the form? And a lot of what we take from these early kits, no, that's fine. Where we go with them, a lot of it gets impacted by where the form language is going. So the industrial design team is, you know, figuring out like what's the actual product going to look like. Is there curvature? Is it flat? Is it minimal? Like, does it have, you know, graphic brutalist elements or whatever? Then we're taking the information that we have here and we're translating it to what's going to work best on the actual form language.
Okay, so I'm looking at this, but I'm realizing that these aren't just paint treatments.
Right.
Many of these are real anodization treatments. Are these from you work? I mean, if you made hundreds of these, that had to have been a very long process to get all the textures and all the different finishes. Yeah, and we work with suppliers that this is their bread and butter. Gotcha. They're very, you know, they can turn things around very quickly. They can do color matches in a day. So we work with some really talented material model shops, different suppliers. But yeah, part of what makes a story compelling is if you are actually experiencing the real material. So well, I mean, there must be like days where you just spend sitting around a table mixing and matching and go, oh, that one's cool. Yeah, and we're like, on some of the things we're like, what's the scale going to be? Is it going to be a tiny detail? Is it going to be a logo? Is it going to be a full thermal shelf? You know, how are we going to compose these things together on the actual needs of the product? I love how much you guys are prioritizing not just the experience, but the touch this early in the design process. It's so important. And we've tried shortcuts. Sometimes when you're exploring color, you want to
do it for less money or do
Right.
it quicker. You can get visually very close with paint.
Right.
But when you actually touch the panel, if you're talking about anodized aluminum, you really want to feel the coldness.
There's
you want to feel
nothing
the
that
actual
feels
feed
quite
blast.
like it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really special, and we're very sensorial creatures. We're very sensitive. And so if we show something in a less premium material, someone will say, oh, I don't like that color. And it's not necessarily the color, it might just be their experience of the material.
There must also be moments when you've got all these samples and then there are combinations that really surprise you. Like, oh, I can't believe that worked.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, the magic can really happen with some of those combinations, right? There's a lot that goes into these types of plaques, right? Because there's only so far you can get with a rendering, with like a digital image. And so it's interesting that you're spending so much time and you're so enamored by these because there's a lot of work that goes into this.
I can see it. I feel like I'm looking at the tip of an iceberg. And then you guys are moving to this, and this I felt was so crazy brilliant. You're making a slice of the actual laptop to feel and see the materials.
Oh yeah.
That's amazing. I had no idea you would waste the time to do this because it's not wasted time. It's exactly what's necessary.
Yeah, when we do these section models, it's one of the first chances to really get a sense of what that final product is going to look and feel like in your hands with the finish. Because we'll make a lot of full models that won't have all the color applied, right? When we get to this stage, we're starting to get closer to the final material, and it's starting to really feel real.
And I would imagine that there would still be combinations you've fallen in love with at this stage, that when you do them here, you're like, oh, that is not the right way.
You've got to find the balance.
Yeah, or like, as an example, you'll see lots of different levels of transparency on these thermal shells.
Oh, yeah.
So we can take these off. They're all magnetic. They switch around.
Oh, no way.
But one of the things we were looking at were which parts of the device do we want to expose? Like what parts of the internals are interesting to the user? Is it the thermal fins? Is it some internal systems? Is it fans?
Right.
And this gives us a visual tool to be able to make those decisions.
Was there something in here that you guys really loved, but just like absolutely couldn't execute from a production standpoint?
I think we would have different answers. I know your answer.
No way, I want to hear yours. You know. There are so many.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Some of these really crunchy materials I was really into.
Yeah.
And then I know that we had a lot of color debates.
Yeah, color is always contentious.
I love this color.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this actually was a fan favorite. This is a good example of something that we became pretty enamored with, and we did have to kill it.
Just you had to kill this darling?
So sad. Yeah, it was. The production around this was just outside of the scope of what we would be able to do on the scale of the product and the different components, the durability that was required. So yeah, this was something where we were like, can we make something that looks completely liquid and insane?
Right.
Yes, we can, but can we produce it? Maybe not in this round, maybe in the future.
Yeah. So just to rewind for a minute, when you guys start this process, of course, I'm sure you're looking at the entire history of Alienware's designs and all the different textures, and that there's maybe stuff from 15 years ago that you couldn't do then that you can do now. So this may still end up in a future project.
Something we'll always be looking at, right? Like, I think durability is key in these types of things, right? Someone's going to use this thing, and someone hopefully is going to use this thing for a really long time. So durability is paramount.
You want that finish to remain great over time.
Yep.
Okay, so out of the laptop slice evaluation phase, which I just love that you did the screen and the keyboard.
Yeah.
Why is this piece here in this timeline?
Oh wow! So a critical element of this design language that we were working towards was around translucency, right? And the interesting part about translucency, as we were going through this process, as much as our model vendors can do, they can't really do translucency because they end up needing to paint it, and so it ends up being a painted process.
So it's never going to quite match what you're going to get out of production.
Yes. So
you have to go to production?
We have to do a proto tool so that we can shoot these parts in different materials and test the translucency.
That means you kind of have to make a decision about the shape of this part fairly early in the process just to be able. So did you highlight this as a difficult thing and activate it early?
Absolutely.
Amazing.
Right.
Absolutely,
Right.
Yeah. The other part of it, we were testing out the different tints in the tool, and then we also were testing out different lighting components. So the brightness of the component, how it gradiates, the different types of light guides. all of that stuff kind of needed to be looked at in the context of an actual part and an actual piece of resin to understand how it was going to play out in reality.
So not only was there a proto tool for that piece, there was also a lighting prototype that you could fit in it.
While you're dialing in the transparency of this, what else is going on and how does the rest of this process play out?
Yeah, sure. So some of these other parts, these are actually production parts. And so this is a stamped aluminum part. And what you see on the inside are all of the mechanical structures.
This is the way it joins the laptop,
yes,
the way it cools itself.
Yeah, the way that everything comes together, right? So that stamped part, actually this version here is only the stamped piece, right? You can tell it doesn't have all those engineering things yet. They haven't been bonded. So you can't really attach this to anything, right? So what we have here is kind of that fully finished stamped aluminum A cover that has, all of the padding that isolates the internal components of the display during all the shock and vibe testing that you all hopefully have had a chance to see. And so, yeah, this is basically, it's a part, but really it's an assembly.
It's just occurring to me, there must also be a design process just for the alien head, because I'm looking at a bunch of different finishes for it.
Yeah, this particular branding, I think this was probably one of the more complicated branding components that we've ever made.
Achieving a mirror finish in the middle of an anodized finish?
Yeah, when we went into it, we didn't even quite know how to ask for what we were looking for. We were like, well, we want it to be dimensional, we want it to have all the colors, we want it to be black, but also have a rainbow, oily, liquid, whatever. And we also need it to illuminate. We need it to turn on and become this RGB. So some of our suppliers really went out on a limb with us and just started exploring, sending us different micro textures that had been metallized in different ways, different amounts of tint, lighting dispersions.
Amazing.
So a lot went into it. When we finally got it to actually work and we're like, this looks good, like this is a premium off state, and then also it still has that imaginative RGB element. Yeah. Such a relief.
I'm really clear that when you guys are hiring for other designers, you really want to look for people who are willing to think outside the box, willing to try new things, willing to experiment. But it didn't occur to me until now that you also want that in a vendor. That your design language also has to be back and forth with the vendor about the art of the possible. And when you say they went out on a limb with you, I love that story because that's a real adventure. Shall we move on down?
Yeah, sure. So now we're at this is the C cover.
Okay, the keyboard cover.
Yep. This is Area 51 18.
So big. I love how giant this is.
Yeah, it's a large laptop. I love 18-inch laptops.
Yeah.
We're kind of tall, right? So an 18-inch laptop feels appropriate. So this C cover, right?
This is made in a production injection mold.
Yes, correct. This is injection molded part. I think the key element here is around the feel, right? There's a lot of work that goes into the paint finish on this part.
Oh, so it's not just shot; it's also post painted.
Yes.
Yeah, we spend a lot of time working on what the tactility is going to feel like because gamers are going to spend, and any laptop user is going to spend a lot of time there
for a decade.
Exactly. So the form has a nice curvature, it has a nice ergonomic feel, and then also the tactility has a really nice silky ceramic finish. And we found that people really were attracted to that.
Within your design process, then, it would strike me that there's probably also an iterative process just about how these curves feel and what their length is, et cetera.
Yeah, absolutely. This was a bit of a new one for us. So, we can go on and on about the ergonomics. This is a really key part of what we did, right? And so this one has what we've kind of been calling a pillowed palm rest. Like Allison said.
Yeah, it's not super flat. It's not perfectly flat.
Not flat.
Yeah, it's got these nice curves. And it's also very beautiful to look at. I think a lot of the curvature really shows off the materials.
Yeah, it makes it a bit more unfamiliar. Our goal was kind of unfamiliar forms, right? Provoking that curiosity. But we're always thinking about the user. We're thinking about the experience. And so this is all about, relieving that pressure point on your palms when you're using the system.
All right, so then we get to the finished product. Now, obviously, each one of these holds working computers, all sorts of mechanics. How early in the design process do you guys wheel in the engineering teams?
I would say as this whole time span that we've been on, right? We're working with the architecture team on the performance load that's going to be needed, how components are going to be arranged, and those types of things.
The volume that they'll need to encompass.
We're also working through incubations for mechanical aspects that are going to be needed, right? The Area 51s, for example, have an all-new hinge. Took a really long time to develop, right? So that's happening in parallel.
Right.
Yeah.
But they're also, as they're iterating a hinge, they must be communicating with you guys about its form factor, because that's
Yes.
part of your...
Yeah.
Yep.
And the way that everything has to fit together is very planned, very orchestrated. The whole thing is like a choreographed dance between
Right.
all the different needs.
Because it has to be able to be assembled.
Right, absolutely. And even us knowing, for instance, on this, like, okay, this is the plan for thermals. We know that we're going to have different air intakes and so this whole thermal shelf, that becomes a huge part of the design component.
Wow.
So we need to plan around, what this overall form is going to look like, how it's going to work with the engineering components.
Talk to me about the glass on the underside, seeing into the internals, because I loved seeing into the internals.
Yeah. This was all about celebrating the performance, celebrating the technology. You see this on desktops quite often,
Sure.
right? This was, moving that feature onto notebooks. And it was, when we had our focus group tests, people went wild over this, right? And they had a lot of concerns as well, right? Durability, strength.
Right, is it going to shatter?
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm. And, we had similar concerns. When we got the first units, I can't believe how strong this is.
So is this Gorilla Glass?
Yes.
Oh, man, it's crazy flexible. Were there different challenges, design and engineering, between
Yeah, there are different performance levels. A key role for us is merging world-class design with high performance. Alienware is a high performance brand. And especially in the Area 51 area, right? And so we're talking a lot about this clear door. The other part that's new here is the cryo chamber. This is a key part of the design that was new, unique, with this design language. And really the idea behind this was around, recapturing unused space and volume below the notebook, right? We basically filled in the gap between, the foot surface and the system. Mm-hmm. We filled that in and we recaptured that volume. And what that does is it gives you space for those few, really tall components. It's not on all the products, but it's ready for the future. When we have a tall component, we have an area we could put it without thickening the entire system.
I think that there's largely a public perception that design teams and engineering teams on the same product are going to always be at odds. But you can't make high-performance products that are beautiful without a beautiful integration between those two teams.
Right. You've got to be in sync, in connection, in communication, right, and have a level of respect for one another's fields, right. The teams that we work with on Alienware on the engineering side, they're some of the best in the world, right. They know how to simulate all of these thermals. They know how to ensure that the product is going to reach the target, right.
I just want to finish by talking a little bit about the lighting, because you guys have lighting all over the place.
Sure.
And I'm sure that's also part of the design process.
Yes, yeah, sure. So lighting has always been, a key component for Alienware, and Alienware was really almost the beginning of this lighting thing through the gaming industry. So this time around, we've introduced a new lighting animation called the Aurora lighting animation. And it's basically this combination of colors that we developed during this time, right? Yeah. It's kind of all over these images. And it sort of moves and meanders, and they're connected, right, from the keyboard to the touchpad. And then on these Area 51 systems, we also have a light zone on the back that can have the same animation. And
it pulses. It feels almost alive.
Yes, right. And that's kind of the goal, right? We want these things to be mysterious. We want these things to be a bit more than a piece of hardware.
Well, I mean, it might seem like we've done a deep dive here, but I'm pretty sure we've just barely scratched the surface of all the crazy decisions you had to make on touching the rubber around this. Yes. I'm sure that was a whole thing.
Yeah, we're kind of playing on an iceberg, and there's a lot of memories below the surface.
Allison, Josh, this is such a thrilling viewpoint on an amazing product. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks to Alienware for having us in their workshops to learn how they ideate and prototype the designs of their beautiful systems. You can find out more details about Alienware's gaming laptops by following the links below.